What's up? Welcome to the Sports Sidebar Podcast. You're tuned in with your boy Rich, and I'm here with my buddies Tom and JD, and we're about to get this thing started. Let's go!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a brand new episode for everybody. Episode 94. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good, Rich. How you doing?
Doing better, man. Had a little cold this weekend, like Thursday. I was out the whole weekend, man. Couldn't really ain't go out. Didn't know if it was COVID or the flu. Don't know what it is, man. Feel a little better, but I'm getting ready to get back in the mix. So
there you go.
How you guys doing over there?
Yeah, we're doing good. Getting ready for the nice July 4th weekend. Always a one of the highlights of the summer, and then off to Saratoga next weekend to see Dave Matthews Band play.
Oh snap! They're gonna be up there with all them ladies and talk about Dave.
Oh yeah, that's me, Rich. He's playing in Jones Beach right now as we speak.
Oh no, nah. That's a rule. When you're from New York, you don't go to New York beaches.
I love Jones Beach. That's the beach that my dad grew up going to, and we used to go when we were kids.
Oh yeah, I mean the beaches have got a lot better since I was a kid. I mean Orchard Beach is probably a very decent beach now, but the only thing is the water. That's pretty much the thing about New York beaches, that it doesn't have the water compared to like some of the other places. Like if you go to a beach in Connecticut or down to the shore, the beaches are a lot cleaner.
Okay, good to know.
But I mean, let's get right into it, man. We had the not too much in NFL this week. We're getting some news on the Deshaun Watson front as far as getting closer to what the NFL is going to announce as far as penalty. Still looking around a 6 game to a year. 6 years. 6 game to 1 year suspension.
Yeah, I'm still, it sounds like they're bracing for the worst. And then it also sounds like, Baker's still saying he's not going to play for the Browns again. So I'm not sure what they got going on over there, if they're going to start that rookie kid that they drafted or what. But yeah, it looks like at least 6 games. And, the way that the insiders are coming out, it sounds like it could be a full year.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing to see if it is the actual full year, or if we get shocked, then maybe they hit him with a 2-year. But it's still a lot to be seen here, because it looks like the Texans are being pulled into the other lawsuit with the other 4 girls that didn't settle. Seems like they were doing it, or they knew about it prior to and nothing was reported. So looking forward to seeing what's coming out of that as well, because that also might make his suspension longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, either way, it's not looking good for him.
Yeah, but I mean, as bad as it sounds, he still got $230 guaranteed. But I'm sure they're going to figure out somehow to, make sure he doesn't get all that money, depending on the suspension.
Yeah, it does sound like that Cleveland actually does have some outs in that contract. So, it's not 100% guaranteed.
Oh, but I mean, that just puts their organization back into turmoil. I mean, it looks like they're never going to build a franchise, man. Just, I don't know. It feels like they're cursed, really, now when you look at it.
It sure seems like it. They can't seem to do anything right.
Maybe they need to move out of Cleveland. That's a start.
That would be a start. Yes, they did that once.
Yeah, then they turned to the Ravens, and Ravens won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
See, I mean, maybe they need to follow the steps, man.
Where are they gonna go now?
Maybe they go to maybe to San Diego. Even though the Chargers just left San Diego. I'm trying to think of other places where they can get a team, build a quick fan base.
Yeah, St. Louis.
Yeah, that's what I said. It probably has to be one of those old cities where a team was and they left. Mm-hmm. And I know that's the best way to build a fan base, because some of those teams, they kind of wish their team was there. They kind of root for the new team or the team that left, but they still, deep down inside, they just want their own state team back.
Yep.
And then outside of that, the NFL teams are getting ready to gear up for training camp in a few months. I mean, the 49ers are on the clock. I mean, we got Jimmy G. They say he's getting healed up. He's going to be able to throw come training camp. Who you liking as the quarterback, man? Jimmy G or
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you hear all this stuff coming out about Jimmy G this week. I mean, the Martellus Bennett basically called him soft. Edelman said that everyone in the locker room was upset with him for not playing that fourth game with Tom Brady's suspension. I think that, they felt like he could have played, if he was, tough enough, that the injury wasn't bad enough for him to sit. And then he got traded a few games later. No, sorry, he got traded the next year. But, now they're saying the beat writers around here are like, well, I guess Bill made the right decision. I don't know. I'd still, with the Trey Lance situation, I still lean Jimmy G, just because I didn't see anything from Trey Lance last year in the couple games that inspired confidence. So maybe it's, start with Jimmy G. You got pretty much 7 or 8 weeks to trade him if you want to do that. I don't know what his contract. I have to look up his contract and what that looks like post. We're post June 1 now, so it doesn't really matter. And where the kickers are, but to me, it starts the season with Jimmy G and then play it from there.
Yep. I mean, you got to go into the season with some kind of protection. I mean, only they really know how good Trey Lance is. I mean, he could totally blossom during the offseason and come back come training camp time and be ready to go. But I feel like there's not a lot of teams that really want Jimmy G, or maybe the 49ers are asking for too much. But I don't know. I feel like something fishy's going on over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man.
Why is that?
I don't know, because I feel like even though, I don't know, let's say you have your quarterback in training, right?
Yep.
And you know he's going to be the quarterback for the future, right? You might as well just let the guy go, and if your new quarterback going to fail, he's going to fail. But it's for him to get reps. So that's the most important thing.
I would agree with you. However, they went to the NFC Championship last year, so that makes it, to me that they're, again, they got beat up a little by the Rams, but they're a game away from being in another Super Bowl, and Jimmy G's already brought them. Not brought them. I won't say he brought them, but he's already involved in another Super Bowl with them. So that's the tough part for me. Like in a vacuum, I'd say give the young guy reps and whatever. But I feel like their team isn't far away from being a Super Bowl contender. I mean, if Jimmy G can get you there, and defense can make some plays, and you can win a Super Bowl with Jimmy G, I think you have to do it.
I don't know, man. I kind of feel like it's like when there's the Alex Smith quarterback, and then there was Patrick Mahomes in the wing. Not to say that Trey Lance is Patrick Mahomes, but they're pretty much beating themselves over the head with it, trying to do the same thing over and over. But I mean, you gotta take that risk. I mean, he can't be that much worse than Jimmy G. If Jimmy G can get you to the Super Bowl, I mean, and you got a coach that's a quarterback guru. He'll figure it out. What plays work with him to get him at least back to the same position at worst.
Yeah.
On to the NBA. I mean, we had the NBA draft wrap up. We kind of had some of the picks right. I mean, we didn't think Smith would go 3, but I mean, hey, the Magic thought otherwise. That was a little shocking. We kind of thought that Holmgren will go 2nd, just because OKC has so many picks. Even if Holmgren's a bust, they can afford to take that chance. But they kind of loved him. They were sitting on him, even though Smith was there at 2. And then Smith went 3 to Houston. Houston's got a nice little team there. They also got Ty Washington later on. So, I mean, they're building a nice little young roster there. And they got some more picks coming up this year and next year. And then, we have my Knicks, man. They were trying to get Ivy, man. I mean, they had to send Spike over there to go get him. And they just couldn't make it happen, man. Then they ended up trading the pick, getting 3 more picks for next year. I mean, hopefully that turns into something. I think those picks are protected, but even if they're, right outside, what we call right outside the protection, like, sometimes it's like 1 to 3 protected or something like that. If it's 4, stuff like that, well, I mean, I'll take it, because then that gives us a chance to move up, package those picks, especially if they're all close. Let's say you get like 4, 6, and 7 or 8, that could be enticing for some other teams at like 2 or 3. But I mean, from what I'm seeing, it looks like the number 1 pick is probably going to be locked for next year.
It's a kid from France, right?
France. Yeah, Victor. Vambangas, something like that. Probably butchering his name, but he's like 7'2", 17-year-old from France. I mean, when they played the under I forget what they call, like, under 18 EuroLeague when the U.S. played them. I mean, he was busting Holmgren's ass from what I've seen. So, and he's only, well, now he's like 17. I think at the time he might have just turned 17. So he definitely needs to put on some more weight, kind of Holmgren type-ish. But he doesn't look like frailly like he does. He's definitely looks skinny, kind of like when Giannis was, coming into the NBA. KD-like frame, though. But he can shoot, put it on the floor. He'll probably be one of the number one picks for next year. So.
Yeah, no, I've seen some video clips of him, and he looks like he's, he could be the real deal. But I don't know, I still worry about the European picks sometimes. But I guess it's less of a concern in this NBA.
Yeah.
Not everyone's Luka Doncic either. So.
Yeah, or Giannis. But that's the thing. That's the thing. Once they see one, they're gonna go. It's like playing the lottery, or like going to the casino. Once you hit once, you feel like, oh man. Once you hit one of those prop bets, man, you're like, man, if I can hit if I can hit two more, this is easy, man. So I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see how things shake out for the lottery next year. But it's definitely gonna be worth keeping your eyes glued on. We got NBA free agency. NBA's trying to get a little spicy. We thought Kyrie was gonna pull the trigger and opt out, but he opts in. How are you feeling about that?
I mean, I think he probably was like, he would have loved to have gone somewhere, but no one wants to take him, is what it boils down to, except for the Lakers. And I'm not sure he really wants to go back and play with LeBron again. So he was probably like, you know what, let me just opt in, and then I can, figure out what to do next year. I don't know. Kyrie has this, I feel like sometimes he can, when he just like shuts his mouth and plays basketball, they could be fine. Like they could be a really good team next year with him, Durant, and Simmons coming back. And then, then you'll figure out, where he's going to go in the offseason. But I mean, it was as much as Brooklyn probably wants him out of there, it was probably the best move for him to stay at that, at that price, which, isn't terrible. But again, I think if things start to go a little sideways, that they can probably move him for something at the deadline.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. That situation plays out as well. Not only for him, but for like you said, Simmons, KD, and all the other players on the team, because they're gonna be one of the favorites in the East next year, being that they have let's say they have a healthy roster. But if one of those guys is not healthy or not playing, how much can KD take? I mean, he's going to be pretty much wasting his time in Brooklyn if the reason why he went there, the guys aren't showing up.
Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, I felt like we were getting close to like a really spicy off season here, and then Kyrie re-signed, Westbrook opts in. Not that he wasn't going to opt in because no one else is paying him $47 million. Durant's most likely, I would guess, going to stay in Brooklyn now. I don't know. I was hoping for some fireworks there early on, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's going to be that way.
I mean, we still got Levine and Beal, man. Those are two guys that can help a team, and then we're gonna have some other players as well. So as of right now, I was scrolling through the list. I mean, John Wall, he's gonna go to Clippers. I don't think he's obviously in his prime anymore, but I think he fits that mold of the team. It's gonna be interesting to see how they play because they still have guys on their team that play the point guard position. I wouldn't think he'd get minutes over, but we'll have to see what happens. Then there's some other stories with, your boy Miles Bridges. Teams didn't want to pay him the Supermax. But, I mean, he's a valuable guy, too, at the, 3 or 4 position. Put up 20 points a game. Kind of a highlight reel. So, I mean, he can definitely be used on the right team. And then I saw some other, we got, obviously, Ayton. There's debates he'll go to Detroit or Dallas, or some of the teams are favored to try to pick him up. I don't think he's going back to the Suns.
Yeah, the Suns are still number one, but who jumped? Someone jumped way up. Was it someone jumped the Pistons in the? Hold on, I'm just looking at it. My buddy sent it to me because I was a little shocked. The Nets moved way up. They jumped the Pistons for the second best odds to land Ayton. So I think before Kyrie opted back in, I wonder if they were thinking like trade Ayton and picks for Durant, something like that.
Well, who knows? Maybe but that's the thing. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of players out here, man. Okay. We mentioned Jalen Brunson. Looking to get him. I don't think, like I said before, I don't think he's going to be a game changer to the franchise. Definitely need a point guard, but I think we need more of our current players to step up. I would like to see more playing time from my boy Obi and Cam Reddish. And then, RJ is going to have to step it up. I mean, even though he's putting up 20 points a game, he's got to take it to another level right now. Otherwise, he'll just be a good player and not a great player. So the great players is what's going to help you get in the playoffs and really make a name for yourself. And then there was some other, Colin Sexton was up there, Anthony Simmons. Then there's a bunch of role players, man. Some from Brooklyn. The Warriors role players are up here. There's a bunch.
Yeah. That's not. I mean, that's your typical offseason. That's not spicy. I was looking for like the big stuff.
Oh yeah. And once the big players don't move, then it's pretty much going to see who can tool up the role players.
Yep.
That's what we're really going to be looking for. See what teams that made the playoffs. How much better can they get with their role players?
Exactly.
Because I know the Celtics were in the running for some guys. Who would you guys like to try to pick up?
Tough. That's a tough question. Depends on what's out. They have the mid-level exception they can use, and they got Fournier's TPE that can be used as well. So I think it's just really who opens up on the trade market. Probably some sort of expiring contract. Like a Jay Crowder type or someone like that. I think would help them out. I don't think they're going to do anything. People are hot on DeJounte Murray from San Antonio, but the Spurs want like 3 or 4 first-round picks, which is I think fine. Whatever. Like where they're going to be drafting for the next 3 or 4 years, they're probably not going to do much anyways. But then it's like they want players and picks, and at some point you got to be like, all right, you guys are ridiculous. So I don't know. I'm not really positive. I think they could go a bunch of rounds. I think they need someone who can provide them some offense, but also be a decent defender. I don't think you need to be the best because they have some pretty good defensive players on the team already. One of the best defensive teams in the league, but I think you don't want a liability out there either. So somewhere like that. That's why I'm thinking like a Jay Crowder type. I don't know if he's the best fit at his age, but someone like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, man. Because I don't think there's any defenders like that. I mean, unless you guys try to get PJ Tucker, but he's not really more of a scorer, he's just a defender.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's always useful because you can put him on the team's best player.
Right.
Then he'll try to frustrate him, burn out some fouls. So. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see. I mean, we still got another day. It's going to kick off, I think, tomorrow afternoon after 3. They're going to be hitting them sirens, showing them signings. I'm sure people are talking now, and they're just waiting to announce the signing. So,
yeah.
You guys get Rondo, man. He's still out there?
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed.
You never know, man. Might want to finish where he started it all. And then on to MLB. I mean, not too much has changed, man. Yankees are coming up from behind, winning games. The hitting is there. Pitching was a little suspect, but hey, the hitting is there, man. Hitting is doing what they got to do to win us some games. Still in first place. Nothing's changed on both sides. I don't know if anything else you noticed.
No. Judge's price keeps getting higher and higher. The longer we get into the season, he did settle for a $19 million contract this year in arbitration. But yeah, his price tag's going up seemingly with every swing of the bat. Yeah, I think like you said, it's kind of been status quo this week. The only thing of news I felt like that was kind of big over the weekend was the big brawl out in Los Angeles. I don't know if you saw that. The Mariners and the Angels, but suspensions were doled out today, and there's some big ones.
Yeah, so them 10 games, 7 games.
Yeah. One of the relief pitchers broke his elbow trying to get into the fight. It's kind of funny because that Angels team, like, they have some fiery guys, but then they have like Ohtani and Trout, and it's like 2 guys that I don't think could care less.
Oh no. But I think that definitely hurt them because they're one of those teams that are kind of on a bubble of like, trying to get in the playoffs and, make some noise. And then this happens.
Yeah. And, I thought it was funny because they showed like Ohtani like coming out. And he's just like, everyone's already like out fighting. And he kind of like jogs out, like grabs one of the Mariners player and just tries to like pull him out of the pile and like hold him. It was just really, it's just funny because like, I feel like I didn't see the Trout version, but I'm sure it was probably similar.
Yeah, you run outside, you run out there, you grab somebody, you say, "Hey, man, just I don't want to get in any fight, man. Just make it look good. Make it look good, man."
Exactly. I need to be out here, but I don't want to be out here.
Yeah. So some of it was just like over the top. One of the guys he threw like like the tray of chips or something like that, whatever, out on the field.
Oh, that's that closer, Rizal Iglesias. Yeah, he's like. Didn't even really seem involved. He threw all the sunflower seeds out there.
Yeah, I'm like, bro. First of all, the joint went like 5 feet. You trying to throw it all the way at the other dugout?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, come on, man. You wasted all the sunflower seeds now, man. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it wasn't really much else going on.
No, a lot of yelling and shouting. There's a couple punches that landed, but other than that, yeah, like you said,
Yeah, it looked like
not too
somebody
much.
almost got stomped out for 1 minute, but
I know.
it didn't look that bad though.
Yeah.
Thought they were trying to be like the NHL for a minute with these fights. And then, I mean, speaking of the NHL, Stanley Cup just finished. We kind of predicted Colorado would come through. Took them 6 games, 1 extra game than we predicted. How are you feeling about it, man, after they won?
Yeah, I mean, they were the best team all year. They were the best team in the playoffs, and it was kind of predictable. I think from early on there, they were hammering teams early in the playoffs. They kind of smoked through the Western Conference pretty easily. I felt like Tampa Bay would put up a little more of a fight. I mean, there's a little bit of a controversial call in Game 5, but
Mm-hmm.
or in Game 4, and then Tampa came back, won Game 5 in Colorado, and then Colorado closed them out. But they had the best defenseman, maybe the best player in the playoffs, in Cale Makar. It's just solid play from Landeskog and Kinnan and that whole team. And now they got to figure out how they keep it rolling. I mean, they got a good young core, good coach, Joe Sakic up in the front office, wheeling and dealing. Hockey's a tough one to keep the core together, because then these guys, they're going to want to get paid. It happened in Chicago, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
paid. They won 3 cups in 6 years, which is what you want. But now they're kind of at the bottom of the barrel because they had to pay Patrick Kane and John Taves. So you'll run into that in hockey, just with the lower salary cap. So you gotta capitalize now. So I think they're putting the over under at 2.5 championships in this little window. So we'll see. We'll see if they can keep it together and be back here next year.
Yeah, I think the main thing for them is how can they get more explosive, which is going to be difficult. And I mean, one of the fastest teams we've seen all year, like you mentioned. I mean, they're definitely going to have to re-sign Valeri. That's one of the pieces on their team.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside of that, I mean, they're the favorite to win it next year. I think Tampa's second in line, and then there was like the Maple Leafs, and then the Rangers, and then Carolina. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
You got some good young teams. I mean, the Rangers, no one thought, everyone thought they were still a couple years away from being a contender. Their goalie was unbelievable. Good young team there. You got a good young team in Carolina, a good feisty team. So yeah, there's a lot of, and of course Tampa Bay. So yeah, it's gonna be tough for them.
Oh yeah, I forgot Florida too. So
yeah, Florida's there too. Yeah, East is tough.
Yep. I mean, so we'll have to see what happens, man. It's going to be about who can keep the team together, and then also just fight through the injuries. That was one of the big things for Tampa. I mean, they had a lot of injuries.
They did.
Guys in and out multiple times. For them, they just need rest. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, they did. They were just worn down, I think, at the end there.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. We got the 4th of July edition of JD's Bites and Brew. What you got for us?
All right. Well, I'll do the 4th of July one next week. We'll do a post-mortem on 4th of July, but for this week, because I don't know what I have on the menu yet. So this week, so living with my parents right now, so we're in between our old house and our next house. So one of the famous dishes that we always have or had since I was little, my dad, that we had tonight was it's an arroz con pollo, so chicken and rice. It's made with both white meat and dark meat. So what you do on this is basically take the chicken, season it up, mostly with adobo, salt, pepper, heavy on the adobo. Throw that in to a big frying pan with an onion, and then you kind of get that all going, and then you throw some water in, cook the rice. So we cook just basically like a bag of rice, and again, season it with some Goya and some more adobo. And let that kind of all meld together. There's a couple secret ingredients in there, but you get that in there, get that all cooked up, and then pull out the chicken, and you can throw it in the oven for a few minutes just to crisp it up. But then you'll have
Ooh.
a little extra chicken kind of left over within the rice, and then just throw that chicken and rice, and then we do it with some kidney beans on top.
Oh, nice. That sounds like is your dad Spanish?
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
okay. Yeah, because I was like
50%.
Yeah, I was like, that's not no that's not no white people dish, man.
No, it is not.
But yeah, I mean that sounds great. That sounds like a normal day in the Bronx type of meal. And then would you guys drink that down with?
All right, so tonight I had I don't think I've done this on here yet. Beer called Juice Machine from Treehouse out in Charlton. So this one I first had on New Year's Eve 2015. I was at Treehouse, not expecting it. They dropped it as a new beer, and it was just really, really good. The label on it's like a little robot. He's got his head is full of different fruits, but it just it was one of those beers where you're like, oh, that was really good. So flash forward 7 years, they still they make it more now than they had. So I think that it's whenever you scale beers, I think that something you lose a little bit of something. Not that I still think it's really good, but it almost is not as juicy, but still I would say very juicy on that level. Just very citrusy. It really lives up to its name. Very soft on the palate. On the back end, it's really smooth. You don't even really know you're drinking an IPA, and it comes in I believe at 8.5%. So I would give it. I'd give the current version still I'd give it an 8.4.
I mean that's still good. 8.4 for 8 plus alcohol level beer. That's pretty hard to find. I feel like most of the time when beers are that much what's the word I'm looking for?
The high ABV.
Yeah, it's either it's too
boozy.
Yeah, or it makes you feel too full, and you don't really get to enjoy it.
Yep.
But that's definitely something worth checking out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think if you had polled me in 2015, I would have probably given it somewhere in the mid to high 9s. But I think palates change a little bit, and just the number of different beers that are out there.
I'm definitely gonna add that to the list. Man, I wish there needs to be an Amazon of beers where you can just go on Amazon and just order beers, man.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It would be nice.
And then that's JD's Bites and Brew, everybody. And then not too much for BRRs this week. There was the boys, they got episode 6 out. Great episode. Some good action and some hilarious stuff going on. I know you saw me and Tom talking about it in the group chat about the hero orgy. It's ridiculous, but it's hilarious at the same time. But then there's some action scenes in that part. So when you guys get to it, we can revisit this. But definitely something you want to check out. Great show. I finished up Obi-Wan. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that yet.
I haven't started it yet. No, I was waiting for it all to be done.
Yeah, so 6 episodes out. Nice little ending for the 6th episode. You get a fight between Obi and Darth Vader, which was kind of fun to watch. That's why I came, to watch Star Wars, to get some action. I felt like it was just short. It wasn't really much they could have told, for his story. I felt like it was more of a filler show to kind of, get us something to watch on Disney Plus while, they pump out whatever's next. But it was all right, man.
Yeah.
Something quick, probably something you can finish in a day. No, that's one of the light binge days.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, there was I started the Old Man.
Okay.
Pretty good. They're really 3 episodes in, so a Jason Bourne type show, but the guy's in his 60s, old, gray haired, but he still kind of got some of the old ways about him, so to say. So they kind of forced him out of retirement to do some stuff. The storyline's not too much we haven't seen before. Most of these spy shows are, something happened with the government and, Iraq or something like that. But they do a great job of explaining things, so you're not really confused. Where like sometimes the show is talking about like what was that show before? The one where the girl worked for like the FBI or whatever.
Claire Danes.
Yeah, well, the one that makes the ugly face when she cries.
Homeland.
Yeah, so you remember like how that show used to get like super, I don't want to say super confusing, but they just throwing around mad names at one time before you even met somebody, and you like what? Like they don't do any of that. It's more like simple, straightforward. They ease things in. That's what I said. They make it easy to follow as far as the background of people's backgrounds and stuff like that. And so far, 3 episodes in, you got a little action here and there, but it's definitely something to check out. Not a bad show. I'm looking forward to seeing the direction of the show. It has a lot of potential.
Nice.
And then I think that show's on FX, so you can definitely catch that on. I know Amazon Prime has, I think, 3 episodes for free or something like that. But I just watched them on Fire Stick, so. And then Westworld is back, season 4. They got the first episode out. Confusing as hell because this is 7 years after the last season, so. I just don't understand. I don't know what's going on, man. I just feel like they're recycling different versions of the Matrix now with this show. I don't know, man. It pretty much makes you seem like the last season really didn't matter based off all the stuff they were fighting for, or fighting to do. Now people are back in the Matrix, but in real life. So I don't know, man. I feel like this show is about to die out soon, man. It seems like they're running out of ideas, or they don't know the direction to point the show in. They're just kind of like trying to recycle a story in a different format.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the point of the show, because kind of how the whole premise of the show is people going to this little ranch hideaway to live a fantasy life, and it's just giving us more different versions of fantasy lives over and over, more different iterations of the Matrix. So maybe that's the purpose of it, but I feel like it needs to go to another level, but I don't know if they're gonna do that or not.
Yeah, I lost that show halfway through season 2, and I just never got back into it.
Yeah, honestly, if you don't get back into it, honestly, it's not something I can't say it's something that you'll miss out if you never watch it. But then other than that, I think that's it, man. I don't got any other. I'm trying to think of any other shows I was watching. Quick Fire Stick check. Hold on.
Did you watch You Don't Know Me yet?
No. What's that about?
That's the British show about a guy who meets this girl, falls in love with her, and then she disappears, and he finds her. I can't really. It's only 4 episodes, so there's not really. Basically, this girl that he falls in love with, she's kind of quiet, she's kind of reserved, she reads a lot of books, and one day she just disappears, and then he figures out about her life, and has some confrontations essentially.
No, I think I seen it on Netflix. I just didn't hit watch because I saw that, and I saw they had that movie Spiderhead. I wanted to check that out, and then I tried watching The Northman. It was kind of too intense for me. I also felt like I was super judging it, because they sent 6 guys in to fight a bunch of people. Yeah. And these 6, I don't want to say they got untouched, but pretty much the main guy, he gets untouched, not even scratched. They're shooting arrows at him. He's dodging the arrows. Come on, nobody was dodging arrows. Yeah, nobody was dodging arrows back then. But I mean, they're trying to make it seem like he was possessed. But I feel like we're getting we've gotten a lot of Viking stuff, movies or stuff about that it's just kind of I'm trying to see something different, and that wasn't it. Just fell back in line. I'm trying to check out The Black Phone. I heard it was a good horror movie. That's what I think Ethan Hawke. Okay. Kidnaps a kid. So hopefully I'll get to see that. And then trying to think what else. I sent you that the little clip of the show wild. The Sister Wives. Yeah, that show's wild, man. The shit they getting off on that show, man. It's just hilarious. It's just pure comedy. I think that's pretty much it, man. Awesome. I think Love Island starts soon, so
Friday. Big day Friday.
Yeah, you'll hear about that. And yeah, Stranger Things. We got Stranger Things too, man. So I know it's 4th of July. I know it's 4th of July weekend, but I don't know, man. Might have to wait, man.
Yeah, I'll find some time for it.
It's gonna be tough, man. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time.
Until next time, Rich.
I want to thank y'all for rocking out here on the Sports Sidebar Podcast. Give y'all something to ride out on.